Right, episode 25, box. Dom.
Go on.
Hello.
Good day, kind sir.
We're talking at the British Grand Prix, so I thought I'm going to make that for the rest of the season now. I'm going to say hello in whatever the language is. I'm going to learn how to say it.
Okay, that's good.
What are you wearing anyway?
Papaya.
I haven't asked you in a while. Thought I'd check in. But
I got some new stuff on the way, to be fair. New little bits and bobs, so
Same.
we're gonna switch it up.
But anyway, it was the Silverstone GP on the weekend. Now, before we get into that, we're doing the Formula One episode next, Formula One movie next week, because this is probably going to take a bit longer, and I don't want to take up too much of your day today.
Yeah.
Don't know about you, Dom.
Yeah, it's
people got shit to do outside of us.
And there's a lot to talk about, and we've got a short time to talk about it. So
yeah, people got money off your mech.
Money off your mech.
Anyway, what are we talking about today?
Well, I don't know. We've just recorded the intros that many times. I don't know what we've mentioned. So I don't know if we mentioned that we're halfway through the season, but this is the third time I've mentioned that in the last 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
Normally we smash everything in the first day.
Yeah, normally first straight one. But you know what it is? I'm going to blame it on the new set. It's throwing us off.
It's too vibey.
It's too vibey.
There's too much much goodness going on.
I know, like the air conditioning works again now.
I know, fantastic.
Doesn't just blow hot
anyway,
air.
What are we talking about? We're talking about Silverstone.
We were going to
talk about the F1 movie, but we're
not anymore. Going to be talking, obviously, about Piastri's penalties.
Yes.
Obviously, McLaren responds to that. Obviously, do you hear about Angry Ginge getting arrested at F1?
No.
Apparently so. Hulkenberg's podium, and potentially, again, even more news about Bottas-to-Alpine. So we'll start straight off.
I was going to say, we kind of, we touched a little bit on that last week, didn't we? But
yeah.
I think the next, so we're at that point now, we're in the summer break. So
we're going to basically do 2 episodes back to back.
Yeah, we've got 2 weeks off. So that's, yeah, go on, take it away with Bottas.
So Piastri's penalty backlash, 10-second penalty for erratic braking under the safety car, fans split to the race losing scenario. McLaren responds. Andrea Stella says Piastri will bounce back, still leading the title by 8 points. Now, I'll be honest, I know we're probably going to speak about it a bit later, but I do feel that was an unfair penalty.
It was an unfair yet still justified penalty. He deserved a punishment because I saw that the statistics behind it was he slowed down 165 kilometers an hour, which is what? That's what, 80, 90 miles? Well, yeah. Yeah, it's maybe nearly 100 miles an hour. He dropped in speed in. I mean, from what he said, is that he didn't see the safety car, but I could come to the safety car. But yeah, for me, I know you have to keep up a delta with the safety car as well. So, but
yeah,
I really don't know.
I do think the thing for me is I'd be intrigued to see if it was Verstappen what the FIA's penalty would be. I really mean that because he's done shit like that before.
Yeah, massively.
And he's got away scot-free. So it's
the thing is, yes, he slowed down by quite a lot, but he didn't actually cause a danger to anyone behind him.
No, Verstappen just went past him.
Which, yeah, I understand why Verstappen's mad about it. I feel like a 5-second penalty would have been fair.
5-second penalty.
Because it was drastic.
Well, it cost him his place. Yeah. It cost him the title.
It cost him the winner of that for sure.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel Lando, both of them drove incredibly. I mean, to have nearly a freaking minute lead at one point.
Yeah.
It's like
mad.
Like being literally 60 seconds ahead of the pack. Well,
before we jump in more about the race,
let's move.
We've got a couple of other things to talk about.
Obviously, Angry Ginge was arrested at Silverstone, allegedly damaging a Racing Point car. He was later released, so obviously that's going to be a legacy car in the museum.
Racing Point, yeah.
Twat.
Yeah.
That needs some clarification, so we're not going to dive too deep into that. But I'm definitely going to
We are going to dive deep into that
obviously
another time.
Hulkenberg's first podium. Unreal, mate.
15 years in F1. And
literally.
I said to my sister, the one thing that I really wanted, if I could be like a fly on a wall in any situation, I'd love to see the text message that Danny Rick sent him. To like congratulate him.
Oh, yeah.
Like that would have been...
Danny Rick would have been over the moon.
Like,
I mean, obviously, there was
Congratulations, you can't.
like the thing is, it's like with Hulkenberg, like he's just pushed and pushed. That was his first ever podium. And the thing, like, it's like when he got on the podium, it's like he just didn't know what to do.
Didn't know what to do. He forgot his helmet when he went into the cool down room. Did you see the video of that where Norris brought his helmet in? It's like,
but you know, I feel Norris was like,
it's one of them, innit? Where
you'd be in pure shock. You wouldn't know how to deal with it.
It's a McLaren 1-2. And like, it's like, woo, Lando run his home race for the first time. Yeah, everyone's excited. Another Brit's won Silverstone. And then everyone's like, Hulkenberg!
I said I ended up hosting at F1 Arcade, and literally the whole crowd was chanting, Hulkenberg! Hulkenberg!
It was just
Did you see that? Obviously, Sauber were never ready for champagne or anything, and Mercedes
and Aston Martin, I think
dropped them loads round.
I don't know why Aston Martin would have champagne, but yeah, I'm sure it was Mercedes and Aston.
No, it was just Mercedes.
Oh.
It was just Mercedes. Like, they just ran round and were like, I just took them here's some champagne to celebrate with, and they all had a free from desire on and were just living their best life. For me, it was so nice to see in the final days of Kick Sauber, in the final year of Sauber as a team, seeing them finally doing well.
In the last 4 races, Nico Hulkenberg alone has scored more points than Max Verstappen.
Wow. Something's got to be going on at Sauber. I really hope they're not cheating or anything, you know.
I doubt they're cheating. If they are, they're doing a good job of making it look like
of not getting caught.
But yeah.
But yeah, not only that, obviously, there was at Silverstone, did you see the Lando Norris stand because of his new drink and his new merch?
Yes.
Which segues me beautifully into one thing.
I was waiting for the perfect opportunity before we started the race to just
segue it in.
Segue us over to, well, I don't want to say we've got to review it, but for those that aren't watching and are only listening.
65.
Yeah, I know. That's how much a Monster is now. We've got the new Lando Norris Monster.
Fuck. I'm going to insert just a picture on screen in case you haven't seen it. I've heard good things about it. Zero sugar. What flavour is it meant to be?
I don't know. We can find out together. Don't look. Just try. We're just going to have to try.
Oh, we're just going to raw dog this shit.
We're going to raw dog it. Oh, we should have done the ASMR one.
I don't ever want to see that face from you again. Chin chin.
Slongshot. Oh,
that's banging.
Lando juice is nice.
You know what it tastes like?
Go on.
Old school.
It's got a nostalgic taste, and I can't put my finger on it. It's
like what was that frigging drink that was like nuclear green in a green bottle?
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew. Tastes like old school Mountain Dew.
It does a tiny little bit, to be fair. I've got to give it that.
But it also just tastes like Monster Fruit Punch. You know what it tastes like? A sugary version of Fanta Fruit Twist.
I don't agree with you on that one, but it's good.
Yeah, it's still.
I've got to give it. I don't drink Monster because it put me in hospital at one point.
Yeah, but so we just don't drink Monster because we definitely both got addicted to it.
Yeah, I'm a Red Bull guy.
You know when you got issues when you got addicted to Mega Monster.
But it's good. It's good. I got to give it that.
Absolutely banging. Anyway, Lando, smash that one. Well, Monster, smash that one.
It's one of those. It's really hard to come by, isn't it? Like,
yeah, literally, mate. I've looked in a few different shops. It ends up that the bloody boss man at the top of your road had it.
Mm-hmm. There's so many people that I've spoken to that are like, "Oh, have you tried the new Lando Monster yet?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Me neither." But I've been seeing it personally because I've not been that asked to try it all that much, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But I thought we've got to do it. I mean, we've done Leclerc's ice cream.
Yeah, which made me ill for how many days?
It's all right. It's just getting its own back with Monster on me now.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But
vengeance, bitch.
I wonder if there's any more Formula One driver confectionery of any kind. You know, ice cream.
We're gonna have to.
We've had ice cream. We've had drinks. Is there any snacks of any Formula One drivers? If any of you guys know, listening, let us know, and we'll butcher your eardrums with the ASMR of it all.
Hulkenberg's got some hot dogs or something.
I'd try Hulkenberg's hot dogs.
Yeah. Anyway, so obviously, Toto Wolff has officially stated now that Alpine are basically have raised interest with Bottas.
Yeah.
Which obviously that's it's interesting, mate. Like,
I mean, yeah, fair enough. I guess
it's really interesting.
I think. Again, we touched on it last week, so it's not. It's not.
Do
something.
You know who he will be looking to be replacing them?
Franco Colapinto.
Yes, that is correct.
Of course. It's not going to be. It's not going to be Pierre Gasly.
No, Pierre Gasly. Pierre's been smashing.
He's been. Did you? Was it this race or qualifying or something? He did a full like 360 in the middle of the track and just carried on like nothing happened.
Like he pirouetted and everyone and like and literally just styled it out.
Yeah.
Because I said anytime anyone drifts, you know, on like well, just any race, all I hear is, I wonder if you know that I live in Tokyo.
When
DK's coming from.
Verstappen's couple of...
Fuck me, this is addictive as shit. You know this is.
I know, you don't want to put it down, do you?
You know, we need to integrate into sofas. Cup holders.
Cup holders, yeah.
I'm going to 3D print them when we finish.
Seeing Verstappen come around the final corner a lot of times, and you'd see him like the back ender just twitch out.
Yeah.
There was a lot of sliding around this race.
Which does really link me on to obviously the weather the whole weekend, just flipping between wet and dry. Obviously, there was Brundle who went up to Clarkson. I think it was in qualifying, or Clarkson put something there saying, looking to be nice.
Nice day tomorrow, no rain, yeah.
Nice dry day. And then friggin' Pierre Gasly was like, it's raining. What can you say? Well, obviously, moving on to the actual race. Obviously,
well, before we get into the race, I just made some notes from practice and qualifying, really. So the thing I wanted to talk about in qualifying was Behrman spinning out in FP3 and going into, as he was going into the pits with cold brakes, and he very lightly tapped the wall and got himself that 10-place grid penalty for all of that, because it happened under a red flag, basically, which isn't the first time that's happened this season, where he's violated a red flag, basically.
It is rookie behaviour, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the second time this season. The first wasn't quite as bad, but it was for overtaking under a safety car. Under a red flag. So, you know, there's that. And then he did all of that and got through to Q3. And it was like, obviously for nothing, because I think he got P9 to start. And because of his grid drop, he started P19. So, bit of a shame.
Sausage.
There you go. Colapinto's spin out in Q1. Gravel trap slowed him down, and again, he slowly tapped the barriers. But he managed to drive off as well, which I was like, whoa. But I was thinking when it happens, like, that car don't look right, because the end plate on his rear wing was like flapping about, and eventually it blew off. Yeah. But he was told to park up because the car wasn't in a fit state. Yellow flag because of that, and then because of his thing falling off, that was then eventually a red flag. What else in qualifying? Sainz finally made it out of Q1, but I think he only got to Q2.
Didn't do a Sonny Hayes this time.
No. So finally did it. And
I will say during qualifying as well. Well, go on, Karen. Sorry.
Ocon parked on turn 3 at Q2, so Verstappen could pass safely. But when I say he parked, I mean like stopped on the corner, and it caused Verstappen. He didn't. It was no like crash or anything like that, but it was obviously a massive distraction for Verstappen, which was mental. And the last note that I got from Q3 was Piastri losing grip on his final push lap, leading to obviously Verstappen taking P1, which after watching how fucking fast Oscar was flying around on his last push lap, it was just the last little bit where he just cocked it up. So
the thing for me, it's like I feel Ferrari let Lewis down in qualifying again, because he wanted to because he felt he had a faster lap in him, and didn't he put a P1 lap in?
I think he was.
He was like top 3 positions.
Yeah, in Q3 he did. Yeah, it was quite high up, and then obviously everyone was just beep.
And obviously Ferrari just wouldn't let him push again.
Ferrari, they need to listen to Lewis.
They need to listen. You can't argue with the guy's race knowledge. I mean, obviously on the weekend, a lot of people were saying to me that, do I feel like Lewis is losing it, has lost his edge? And
no,
yes and no.
I don't feel like I feel like Ferrari are just.
I do feel like Ferrari is letting him down, because like when he can actually push and go for it,
he does well.
He does well.
Look at the sprint when Ferrari couldn't get involved.
Yeah, smashed it. Absolutely smashed it.
Says it all, doesn't it?
It really does.
So
really does. But obviously, moving past qualifying,
we can finally jump into the race. So
right, just got to change back to a different set of notes. Obviously, it's
should we do it a bit different and do the results and then go through it? Switch it up. I've got the results here.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I know we normally.
Why not? Have I got the results on?
Do you want to read off mine? Can we go off that together?
Oh, hang on. I'll get it up on the F1 app, mate.
Yeah.
It's on the Formula 1. Give me a second.
Because normally we
do that at the end.
Yeah, but we'll do it a bit different this time.
Yeah.
We're doing a few things a little bit different because we've been rushing to get the set back together and we haven't
really had time to do the notes this week.
I made a few notes during qualifying.
And I made a few notes during the race.
But it's just even
you know what, like obviously doing a turnaround like this in a week.
Well, the thing is as well, where again, we're getting a little bit lost on a tangent here, but I feel like it's important to mention that when you like try and talk about Formula One in so that when you take notes to talk about it in a format like we are in this situation, you have to stop a lot of watching. Like you can't just jot a lot of things down, and it's not as enjoyable to watch for the first time either. Like when you watch a race live, like with F1,
we watch the race. We don't
just
take notes,
watch it.
We just enjoy the race.
You enjoy it because otherwise, I tried. I think it was like the third race of the season or something where I tried to take notes while I was watching the race, and it just took all the fun out of enjoying Formula One.
Yeah, so that's why we have that rule.
We usually watch it and then watch it again and take notes.
You know the rules for positions.
Oh! I thought you were going for a fist bump. All right, you ready?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, God damn it!
All right, I'll take the odds.
Dom pulled a rock. I pulled scissors.
Well, I usually pull scissors.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to.
You're trying to scissor me timbers.
I was trying to scissor your timbers. Okay, take it away, Dom.
So, winning the race and his first win at Silverstone, top of the podium, Lando Norris.
P2 was Oscar Piastri.
P3
together.
I thought we were going full.
We're going full now. Ready?
Go on then.
1, 2, 3. Nico Hulkenberg. That was fucking sensational. Okay, right. P4 was Lewis Hamilton, with it being ending the streak of Lewis on the podium at Silverstone. That makes me fucking sad. Anyway.
P5, the one and only Max Verstappen.
P6, Pierre Gasly.
P7, who I really wanted to finish a little bit higher, but didn't, sadly. Lance Stroll.
I swear to God, mate, I was in a fucking fever dream when Lance Stroll was in P2, you know.
When it was when it was Norris, Piastri,
and then Lance Stroll.
Piastri, Norris,
and then Lance Stroll.
Norris, Piastri, Hulkenberg, Hamilton, Stroll. That's what at one point that was the positioning. Yeah. And I was like, if the two McLarens went out now, it'd be Hulkenberg finish, they're like top step, Hamilton on the podium, and then Lance Stroll third. That'd be mind-blowing.
Fucking wild.
But anyway, go on.
Anyway, P8, Alex Albon.
P9, Fernando Alonso.
P10, George Russell. Mercedes just can't get right at the minute, you know. They're really up and down.
George is really taking this Toto's talking to Max Verstappen thing very seriously, like he doesn't want his job anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I must say. Anyway, P11 in the Haas, Ollie Behrman. P12
in the Williams, Carlos Sainz.
P13, Esteban Ocon.
Didn't get any 10-second time penalties. P14, Charles Leclerc.
Ferrari outside the points. What is this?
I know.
P15, Yuki Tsunoda.
And with a DNF, Kimi Antonelli.
Well, that brings me on to a point. Every rookie DNF'd. So in P17 was Isaac Ajah.
P18 was Gabriel Bortoleto.
P19 was Liam Lawson.
P20 was Franco Colapinto. Speaking of which, just had a notification before we get actually into further race. Tech Weekly from Formula One, why Red Bull's new floor has real potential but needs further tweaking around. And apparently that's been causing a lot of the issues with the car. Is Red Bull's new floor. I guess we'll have to talk about that and see. Hey,
we can do some digging.
We can do some digging, so that's to come up on next week's episode. Right, moving on to the race.
I was going to say, now we've been through the results.
Obviously, so pre-race, at the formation lap, Verstappen went wide because obviously it was wet as shit.
Yeah.
Everything went out, everybody went out on inters, and as
I think that's the first time ever. That's definitely something I like to talk about. Is everyone coming in to the pit to change tyres before the race starts, like after the formation lap. That was like, I've never seen that done in my life.
No, I think the thing is, a lot of people, some people came in after the formation lap, and then other people literally boxed on lap one.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen it.
It's
like,
practically unheard of, really, isn't it? So I didn't even think that they could box like
that
post-formation lap. I know you can early, but
obviously pretty much early. I can't remember who span off, but obviously there was an early safety car.
Colapinto.
It was Colapinto, yeah, it was. Obviously Verstappen just couldn't get. He was either getting too much heat into those inters or not enough, and he just.
That's the thing. It was as I was saying to my old man who I watched it with. We kind of sat down watching the race and going. Every 5 minutes, it was like, this could be anyone's race. Well,
I messaged you and I went, mate, this is really anybody's race.
Yeah, like.
I think the thing is, it was like, what a start as well. What a start. Like Piastri was.
He was on it. He really was on it. Because he jumped up first, didn't he?
Yeah, he led the race.
He led the race for quite a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, and then obviously he got done by the safety car. I mean, there was an absolute shitload of crashes. I'll tell you, don't ask me to quote you the lap number, but did you see, it was when it was starting to dry up and Stroll was the first person to risk softs?
Yes, I did see. I know that Russell tapped onto hards first as well.
I remember the radio call, it was like we're a brave team, but we're not a suicidal team.
Yeah.
Like, and I do think, like, when Russell came out and he came out on hards, I was like, that's a fucking brave choice.
Yeah.
Because I was saying to Jack, I was like, you see, I said he should have come out on softs, and Jack was like mediums, and you think about it, that would have been the right call. Because you can make mediums last.
Mediums or hards. Stroll coming out on softs was a bad idea.
No, but I'm on about like when Russell came out on hards, I thought that was a bad idea as well, because obviously, if the track's wet, you're not going to be able to get enough heat into those tyres, and that's why. Well, the first couple of corners, he was just everywhere.
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of people took a bit of a gamble on whatever tyre compound they'd gone for. A lot of people, as you say, boxed early and went for. Well, no one really put a second set of inters on, which I know kind of makes sense with the fact that it started to dry up, but it then started to piss it down again. But the big thing, I saw the meme going around at the moment, is the picture of the full wets, the blues.
Yeah.
And it's like Silverstone 25. It's like, do I literally mean nothing to you? Because it's like no one gone for him. But
I mean, to be honest, while Lewis made the radio call, he was like, I think it's time for some wets.
Well, I think
Ferrari didn't box him.
I think a lot of people won't go for wets just because the Pirelli compound on full wets at the moment, I don't know whether it's the tread or the compound or whatever, or the composition of them.
It's an element of the tyre.
They're terrible. They're just really, really bad. I can't remember if it was the start of this season or the end of last season, because I know at Brazil, everyone was like crying about the full wets, which was obviously last season. So yeah, I don't know if they've fixed them by this season, but I've not seen anyone come out on them.
You would hope so. I mean, the thing is, obviously, like...
Well, the thing is, when do they develop? When do they really get the time to test for wets?
That's test them in the UK during the winter. But the thing is also, what I was going to say, it's with obviously Lewis, he made the radio call when it was really hammering it down. He was like, I think it's full wets time. And I do believe if they would have put him on a set of wets, he could have climbed further up the pack. And I'm not being like idealistic and thinking that Lewis is this GOAT, but he's the GOAT in the wet.
Yeah.
He is that no one is a better driver for me in the wet than Lewis Hamilton.
I can't remember who said it during Brundle's grid walk, but they were saying that they really wanted it to rain some more to see Verstappen.
Tom Thingy. Oh no, is that she sang the national anthem like last year?
She did. I don't know who it is, but yes.
We're sorry.
Whoever that is. Sorry, darling. But yeah, I also would have liked to have seen Verstappen and Hamilton battle it out in the wet.
To be honest, and seeing Piastri and Lando battle it out more properly in the wet.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of one of them. We don't know.
It is. I was McLaren saying it a few years ago, or it might have been last year. He was like, if it's a wet race at Silverstone, it'll be the old boys will do better.
Yeah.
Because it's...
Well, it usually is the older lot.
The thing is, it was a wet race at Silverstone, but it was intermediate rain, so it wasn't like consistently pissing it down like last year. It was pissing it down, but obviously because of the track compound, it was drying pretty quick. It was draining pretty quick.
While we're on the topic of wet tyres and all that malarkey, so I found out, I think, because I watched the Channel 4 broadcast, and I can't remember who mentioned it, but someone said...
Sky?
Yeah, but Channel 4, it was just, I don't know. Coulthard. That's probably why.
Oh, yeah.
Coulthard was on the Channel 4 coverage. Because it was, obviously, because it's the British Grand Prix, it was broadcast on Sky Live. So, Channel 4 Live. So, only race of the season they do it. But anyway, they mentioned that in France, in karting, they don't have wet tyres, just slicks. And if you look at the grid, other than Pierre Gasly, all the French drivers, the only other ones is Esteban Ocon and Isaac Hadjar, but they both finished outside of the points. Obviously Hadjar DNF'd, but I just thought I'd throw that in there because that's
the thing that's interesting to me with that, right, is like, say for example, if in karting they don't have wet tyres in France. Now, for me, that would say that the French drivers should be better on slicks in the wet then.
Yes.
But that's what that says to me, but, potato tomato.
It's all strange, isn't it? I just thought I'd throw that little fun fact in there.
That is definitely different.
When I get my nephew into karting, I'm gonna do the Verstappen and the Senna thing.
There was middle of the race, there was Verstappen's huge spin.
Yeah. I would have loved to have heard the eruption.
Yeah, it was something, Yeah. It was something. Said I got to keep this PR train now. I don't want to lose my job.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we should stop throwing shade at drivers once in a while. But we do bounce between who we don't like from week to week.
You know what? For me, that's sport then.
Yeah.
That is just sport. Obviously, there was the big crash, which was Antonelli and Isaac Hadjar.
Yeah, well, so I'm glad you pointed that out because I did want to have a bit of a moment on that because after seeing Hadjar go into the back of Antonelli, it was kind of like Antonelli and Verstappen on the last race where at first glance, you look at it from footage outside the car, you look at it and you go, fuck me, Hadjar's just smashed into the back of him for like what looks like no reason. But then you watch the onboard
and you literally
can't see anything, and then you see that there's an impact. And then
you don't know who it is.
Yeah, you don't know who it is. And then as the kind of both start to slow down and the water settles, you realise it's Antonelli and you're just like, you feel so bad for both of them.
I do feel probably it's one of them ones when they would have seen the footage back. And that's where the helmet cam's good, Well,
it was investigated by the FIA anyway.
And there was no further action.
It was a racing incident, 100%. And I feel bad for both drivers.
I do, because obviously no driver can be at fault in that situation.
No.
Because it's like just driving a normal car in the rain.
Yeah.
How many times have you been driving someone or the fog and someone just appears out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Now, where the fuck did you come from? So imagine you're doing 150, 200 mile an hour down the straight in the rain with questionable amounts of grip and then just...
You're like, oh, whoops.
Kimi Antonelli appears. And it must... You know what? That must have been fucking terrifying, I was... Yeah, I really... as I said, I wanted to have a kind of a take on it. But yeah, that's...
It was
a real shame for both the drivers, and I imagine it's probably a bit of a confidence knock for both of them as well.
I think.
Sorry, that energy drink is making me gassy as shit. Lord Jesus.
I think for Hadjar, he was very, very upset in himself, really, even though he shouldn't have been because it weren't really his fault. It's again, as we both said, it was a racing incident.
So obviously, whilst that was going on, there was a safety car.
Yeah,
and this is where, for me, the thing that caused one of the big controversies, let's say, of the race, which was Obviously, Oscar Piastri got a 10-second penalty for braking under the safety car, or excessive braking under the safety car.
Yeah. So I spoke about this with you earlier, didn't I? Where it's
and we did speak a little bit at the beginning of this episode. I can't remember. We did so many fucking intros for this episode.
Yeah. I can't even remember if I mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. So it was the 165 kilometer an hour speed decrease.
Yeah,
and that's a lot.
That is a massive break-in, but it's like I'm pretty sure that Oscar said he was like, I couldn't see the safety car and I didn't know where he was, so I just slowed down.
Yeah.
What? Because that's the thing, I mean, don't get me wrong, like Formula 1 cars do a lot of damage to each other, but imagine if it's the safety car, the damage it'd do.
Oh yeah. Chaos.
Like, be absolute pure chaos, mate.
Well, the thing is, I feel like he deserved a penalty.
But not a 10-second.
But not a 10-second penalty at all. He did not deserve that. Obviously, Verstappen was moaning. So, no, but that's what Verstappen
does. Fuck off, mate. Like,
yeah, honestly, it was like chaos, wasn't it? So
it really was. It was one of them ones where I was like, there's nothing you can do in that situation. And I mean, the big thing is I feel that this is going to be like Verstappen's last year at Red Bull as well.
More than likely. But yeah, going back to Oscar, just thinking about that, and it's
Verstappen did fly past him, but he went back into the place. An interesting thing at the start of the race, actually, I remember Jack brought it up, and he never really got pulled up by the FIA. But it was when Lando and Lewis were battling for.
Exceeded track limits.
Yeah, he exceeded track limits,
but he didn't gain an advantage.
No, he did. He passed Lewis.
Oh.
He passed Lewis on an exceeded because Lewis was ahead.
Was it on the opening lap?
Yeah.
I don't think that they're a little bit more lenient, maybe. I don't know.
And for me, I was annoyed because I was like, Lewis was it. That was Lewis's line.
Yeah.
Like, and that is definitely
strange.
It is definitely an interesting one. But you know what? I think the person we got to talk about today is the driver of the day. My driver of the day. I know he was yours as well.
Yeah.
Hulkenberg,
indeed.
Nico Hulkenberg. I've never felt it was the underdog story.
1000%.
It was a true underdog hero story of a man who spent 15 years, did you say?
Yeah, 15 years, 239 races.
Yeah, 237 races, I think it was.
Was it?
Over 200.
After 239 races, finally steps up.
Yeah, finally gets his first ever podium
since 2012.
Look, honestly, I remember you saying, and I remember you saying this at the beginning of the year, that Hulkenberg is a good choice for Sauber.
Yeah.
And for me, that shows that's the worst car on the grid.
Yeah.
Statistically.
Well, you've got to look at it as well, is they're not going to be putting any effort into this particular car, really.
No, because they're waiting for Audi now.
Because, and I've been told to specifically bring up you calling my dad a madman for putting Hulkenberg in P3 2 races ago.
Hey, Paul. He's still a madman.
It's
don't get me wrong. Like, I think
no one could have predicted that.
And I'm not saying Hulkenberg drove absolutely incredibly. I mean, for one, keeping the 7-time world champion at bay.
Yeah.
Keeping Lewis Hamilton away from you in a bigger team, in a better car, and a 7-time world champion. The adrenaline, like, obviously, like, a little bit of a spoiler of the Formula 1 movie, but it's a very famous race term, is that you're flying.
Yeah.
Hulkenberg was flying.
Yeah.
He was well and truly flying. It was an incredible thing to see. I was so happy for him.
I think, I think, he doesn't, as far as I'm aware, Hulkenberg doesn't officially have a seat next year.
I think he will now.
So I think he's proven his point. And again, I think that's another reason why Divergent taking the fucking slipstream to a whole other dimension here. But I think that's another reason why Toto hasn't renewed George's contract yet. It's because if you look, this is something that my old man said as well. So I'm practically repeating what he said. But if you look at Checo last season, early on in the season, his contract was renewed and he wasn't doing that bad.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he had like this 5-year contract extension,
he stopped giving a shit.
He started performing as exactly how Tsunoda's performing at the moment. He went from being top of the pack, maybe 1-2 places behind Verstappen, to not finishing in the points.
That comfort blanket.
And look what happened. So I think that's what Toto's doing with George. Is he's not renewing his contract because he's going to be like, he's not renewing it yet because he doesn't want to give him that. He's making him fight, really, to prove his worth, which is and isn't fair, but it's Formula One. What is and what isn't? Abu Dhabi 21. What?
Oh, why would you bring that up? But yeah, honestly, going back to Hulkenberg though, like he really, I feel like I can't wait for Drive to Survive.
I know it's going to be mental.
That episode is going to be absolutely incredible.
It's going to be
and
crazy.
It really was. I mean, you said you didn't think it was the best race of the season, and I'm not like I thought it was.
I know. As I said, the message that I sent to you, that was the most boringest, intense race I've ever seen.
For me, I didn't find it boring at all. Like, I was so pumped watching that race.
It was, I think, because it was like 5 laps, safety car, 5 laps, safety car, 5 laps, safety car.
Oh yeah,
5 laps,
there
safety car.
was a shitload of safety cars, but it was also one of them ones where like it gave you those small breaks to just
process what
the fuck is going on. But it was the first race of the season where I've seen just non-stop proper racing happening. Like the whole pack. And obviously even like the crazy...
I don't know, man. Australia
was pretty fucking mental.
Wet.
I mean, we love
when everyone was expecting it to be dry.
I mean, we love a wet race. And everybody thought Silverstone this weekend would have been dry because we've had some glorious weather.
The thing is, we were well overdue a thunderstorm, weren't we?
We were.
I was driving back home from work. I think it would have been about 7 a.m. Sunday morning. And the sun was blazing. And then next thing you know, the heavens opened. And I was like, well, Silverstone's going to be interesting later.
That is very true. So obviously, I think the big storylines of Silverstone have been, obviously, we've got the rivalry now between Norris and Piastri is...
8 points between them.
8 points. It's one race now.
Yeah.
One race is going to be the...
Well, one more. I think even if it's another McLaren 1-2, the same as it was for this race, a Norris Piastri, I think that would just put Norris ahead.
Yeah.
So even then, it would be either match points or by 1. I can't remember.
I did see, obviously, Piastri was frustrated as well with what happened.
I think...
And I get it.
So my dad's not Piastri's biggest fan. He doesn't like the fact that he's very emotionless and doesn't show...
He's very robotic almost.
Yeah. And he thinks he's a bit sly because of the Alpine drama. But and I understand that. Personally, I don't agree, but I understand. And even my old man said that it was like he was visibly emotional after the race because of what had gone on, which I get it. But yeah, it is what it is. And a lot of people, including myself, would say that he didn't. If he didn't get that penalty, he would have won 100%. So yeah, it is what it is.
Right.
I'm waiting for you to chime in there because I don't think you'd listen to anything I said.
I did listen roughly what you said. I was actually just paying attention.
I was going to say, I know you're processing something.
I'm processing the next
point to talk about,
which is the championship snapshot as it's labelled, which I think is a lovely little part of how we can label it.
That is.
Obviously, so we've got the top 5 constructors here, but sorry, not top 5. Oh, that makes no fucking sense.
You done did fucked up there.
Oh, done did fucked up. You know, I'm just going to go on the fucking Formula 1 app. Hang on.
Well, obviously, top of the
drivers and the top driver so far with 234 points is Oscar Piastri. Then we've got Lando Norris in P2 of the championship with 226. I said 8 points between them. Falling literally over 100 points behind.
Behind what?
No, but Max Verstappen is in P3. I don't do math. Anyway, P4 is George Russell in the championships. Leclerc in 5 with 119. Hamilton in 6 with 103. Antonelli in 7. Alex Albon in 8th. Hulkenberg with 37 points with the highest points.
Highest points at the Sauber. He's done more points in the last 3 races.
Yeah.
Or 4 races than Verstappen has. But he doesn't have more in total.
Esteban Ocon in 10th with 23. Isaac Jar in 11th with 21. Still can't believe Lance Stroll's in 12th with 20th. Gasly in 13th with 19. Alonso, another rookie apparently, with 16.
He's the oldest rookie, but he's a rookie.
Carlos Sainz in 15th, which that's heartbreaking to see, you know.
Yeah, especially after his season
points.
last year.
Liam Lawson in 16th, Yuki Tsunoda in 17th, Ollie Bowman in 18th, Gabriel Bortoletto in 19th, Franco Colapinto and Jack Doohan taking up 20th and 21. Dom, tell me about the team standings.
The team standings? Oh, I didn't get that far in. Oh, straight to the note sound. So, obviously, we know that McLaren are leading the pack by over double the P2 competitors' points. So, McLaren are top with 460. In second place is Ferrari with 222. And following them, not far behind, is Mercedes with 210 points. Red Bull Racing, or just Max Verstappen, is taking 4th place with 172 points. Surprisingly, but not to many, really, in 5th place is Williams with 59 points. So there's quite a big gap between 4th and 5th. But, I mean, mid-pack for the teams and, well, the constructors, really, it's quite close. So... for the first time in a while as well, I think every team on the grid has scored points so far this season, and we're only halfway in, so that's good. So Williams with 59 points in 5th. 6th place is Kick Saber with 41 points. Then RB take 7th place with 36 points. Aston Martin, also with 36 points, are in 8th. And then 9th is Haas with 29 points. And then last but certainly not least is Alpine with 19 points. So
Unreal. I said every team for the first time in a long time is in the points.
It's a big deal. Big deal.
It really is a big deal.
So
I feel that is pretty much it. Obviously, we got a gap now.
Yeah.
Actually, race predictions. Dominic, get them up.
Shite, yeah. So... Hang on, what was this Silverstone?
It was just shite, yeah.
Yeah, so luckily I was just going to this part of the notes anyway for me to have a look for something. So your prediction was Norris, Piastri, Hamilton. And
I get 2 points.
You get 2 points. So, yeah, mine was Norris, Hamilton, Russell. So I got 1 point.
What was your dad's?
My dad's was Norris, Russell, Verstappen. So he gets 1 point.
That was Miles?
Miles, yeah, sorry. I do have it written down here, Miles, yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, again, not a bad guess for a 3-year-old, really, but just the 1 point there. But, yeah.
Right, so we're not going to do race predictions now until we're close to the next race, because we've got a little bit of a break now.
So what we're going to do is I imagine, because of our schedules and we've got a lot coming up the next, so-and-so, we're going to try and put some stuff together. Well,
we're going to put together some filler episodes, but basically we're going to do those tomorrow. So we're going to do an F1 movie episode next. Yeah. The week after that, don't know what we're going to do just yet, but we'll fit something in. And then what we'll do is we'll maybe come in and do 10 minutes where we do our race predictions, just say Wednesday. And they'll be slammed in. And then we'll just do it. If we're wearing different shirts or anything, don't ask questions. You know why? Yeah. So, things matter. That'll keep it relevant. Also, we really appreciate on every platform that you listen to and that you listen to the podcast, but I would love, especially now we've got this new set and everything, to watch it on YouTube. Yeah. Obviously, we try and get the video up on Spotify as well, but Spotify is weird with video. I mean, sometimes I get if you want to, the times that people usually would listen to the podcast is probably driving. Yeah, 100%. So, I will say, now we've got this new set and it actually looks good for short form content as well. It'll be good, yeah. Yeah, we can actually put short form content. I'll be honest, that's kind of one of the biggest reasons why we've done a lot of it. Well, for me, that's why I wanted to do it all. Well, that's why video was kind of... Yeah, it was for short form content. And obviously, when we were using Bay 10, which we still have full access to, but the biggest reason why we stopped for me was audio.
It was audio, and it was a pain.
It was a lot of work.
Go in and set up, because it's not something like this set now.
Is built. This does not move. The cameras, everything is fixed.
Everything stays where it is. We don't adjust anything.
We literally turn things on.
Yeah, we just turn it. Well, we can turn up, record an episode, and leave in an hour and a half. Yeah,
rather than when we were using.
It was an hour and a half to set up and maybe pack down as well.
Yeah, so it was a full day to do an episode, and yeah, it did look better. But obviously, we've got this. That's why we've done all this.
Yeah,
well, we're spending money on it to do it as well.
It's good.
So I hope, obviously, like the new visual elements, and if you are watching on the short form platforms, please tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Jump on the YouTube. Share the videos on your stories.
But as always,
like the video. Oh, hang on. Before we jump in, before we sign out,
go for it.
So, the next race, although we're not doing our predictions for it, we've just got to talk about it. So, the next race is the Moët and Chandon Belgian Grand Prix at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium on Sunday,
so much.
The 20th of July. 2 o'clock British time, British summer time, and 3 p.m. local time. So, yeah, Spa.
Oh, mate, we love Spa.
I love Spa.
Spa's a great race.
I'm doing Spa next year, don't care.
Yeah, same.
It's happening.
See that, bro. Anyway, Dom, where can we find you?
You can find me at DJ Dom Cook, wherever the fuck you want to find me. It's up to you.
You can find me at Sentio Silvano, same, pretty much anywhere. Where can you find the podcast, except for Twitter?
You can find the pod at BoxBoxBoxPod on your desired platform.
Except for X. Someone's a twat. But as always, thank you so much for listening. Thank you to listening to us to continually ramble.
I was going to say, this has been a long, rambly episode.
You know, mate, just before we go, I look every week. I know you don't get to see the statistics as much, but I look at it and I can slowly see this growing now. And
it's one of those where
we're getting a decent audience in America, of all places.
America. I'm surprised they can understand us. We are I don't think that our accents are that thick until someone goes, your accent's really thick, and then you go,
yeah, likewise.
Nah, and
then you want to you want to come around where we live. Honestly, it's a different level.
Yeah,
but yeah, we are slowly picking more audience. That's why I'm trying to now get more people listening, because
the more the merrier, man. Tell your friends.
Yeah,
tell your mom. Tell your dad. Tell your baby mom. We don't care.
Tell your uncle. Tell your grandma.
Tell your missus.
Yeah, tell your missus.
It's one of those. I don't enjoy seeing the statistics as much, because I'll get lost in, and then I'll get annoyed if something doesn't do as well.
Rule where we don't. None of the episodes are ever statistically driven. We just do what we want to do.
Yeah,
and I only look at statistics just so I can see where we're dropping off and see.
Yeah,
those are any decisions that are made. Let's say, for example, if we're chatting shit, probably like now, you probably all switched off. But anyway, thank you so much again for listening. We'll see you next week. We're finally going to talk about the Formula 1 movie.
Finally, it's been emotionally sensational.
Safe.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.